Ay, magandang araw. Muli, ito po si Ellie Saludar at dito ho tayo sa Iparas kay Paras. At maganda pag-usapan natin, Secretary Jing. Magandang araw sa iyo.
Magandang araw po, paring Eli. Magandang araw naman muli sa ating mga mahal na mga kababayan na had continued suffering from the kabulastugan ng ating presidente sa kanyang pamumuno. Nasa inflation pa rin tayo, nasa gutom pa rin tayo, nasa increase. At lalo na itong recently, nagpasa pa, pumirma siya ng isang batas na yung mga savings, long-term savings ng ating mga kababayan ay papatawan ng 20%.
Yung interest.
Yung interest, papatawan ng interest. Alam mo, ang mga bangko, 6% lang nga yung kita, papatawan mo ng 20%. Well, this one we should discuss in a proper perspective, no? But ngayon, hindi natin mabitawan yung issue ng impeachment. Ang daming mga miron na gustong sumausaw dito sa impeachment. Isa dito, yung dating justice na akala mo kung sinong maraming ginawa ng kabutihan sa Supreme Court. Ito, may bad experience ako dito. Pa-professor ko ito sa UP College of Law. Sa negotiable instrument at saka sa corporation. Hindi ako nasisiyahan ito. Masyadong bukis ito. Hindi ko nga masyadong believe dito Nung naging Supreme Court naman, mayroon akong ikikwento sa inyo mamaya, mga kababayan, ang ginawa nito sa isang kaso na personal na alam ko. Tapos ngayon, makikialam na naman, magbibigay ng kanyang opinion, hindi siya mahiya na dati naman siyang Associate Justice sa Supreme Court at magbibigay siya ng opinion that will insult the other members of the court. Ito, pakinggan natin ito si Carpio na masyadong bias against the Dutertes. Ito.
Let me start with this. It was a resolution last July 8 wherein the Supreme Court had actually ordered the House or Congress to file under oath information or even details in relation to the petitions filed by the camp of Vice President Sara Duterte in relation to the impeachment case that was filed against her. From my understanding, the petitions, there are two petitions filed by the camp of the Vice President, which the Supreme Court consolidated. What I want to find out, I guess, just to start this off, is an overview of two things, Justice. I hope you don't mind. I want to talk about the timing of this resolution last July 8, or a little over 2 weeks before the 20th Congress begins. The two petitions that were filed by the Vice President, just for context, were filed last February. 5 months later, the Supreme Court says, I need more information from the House of Representatives regarding this impeachment case. What do you say about the timing of this, considering that in 2 weeks or more, mag-uumpisa na po yung 20th Congress?
Well, I think my sense here is that when the petitions were filed, as you said, in February, the thinking then was that because of what the House Secretary General told everybody, that he was asked to delay, and that everybody thought that the 10-session day period had lapsed. And I think, but when the House submitted its reply to Sara's answer before the impeachment court, it turned out that the 10-session day period was not breached. That on the 10th session day, the fourth complaint, which had the signature of more than a third of the members of the House, was submitted to the Secretary General, and I think that was not in the records of the court. That's why they asked for that. That because that was something new, and it was reported in the papers. So they asked for that because they could not decide the case unless that is settled. Because here is now the House telling the impeachment court that the 10 session day period was not breached. But I think that information was not in the Supreme Court. That's why they asked for it.
Mm-hmm.
That's my reading.
But that's among other things that they asked
Yes.
Justice. No, but I want to go to that a little later on. But I want to go back to my question. It's the timing, because you've been there, and I guess the point is July 28 is the State of the Nation address of the President. July 29, it is expected that the impeachment trial will begin, or, Justice, that it will be questioned by some senators, that the 20th Congress might not have jurisdiction. So it can actually begin, or it can actually be dismissed. I mean, I think those are the two things that might happen on July 29. So I'm just curious about the timing. Why ask the House now? Couldn't it have been done much earlier so that there could be some sort of decision, possibly, regarding this?
Yes, it could have been done earlier, but I think they asked for those, they sent that resolution asking those questions because I think they want to come out with a decision before the 29th, before July 29th. And,
that's what I wanted to find out. Is that what you think? Is that
yes, because
possibly?
otherwise the Senate, as an impeachment court, will have to decide whether to proceed or not.
Right.
Out of deference to the Supreme Court, that the issue is there with the Supreme Court. So I think there's urgency for the court to act on it, so the impeachment court can be properly guided. I mean, that should be the case.
So you think a decision will be made before July 28 or July 29?
For me, it's most likely.
All right. Why? Again, because just to go back, the resolution was received by the House July 8, and they were supposed to answer within 10 non-extendable days, which would probably be July 18.
Yeah.
And then from that time on, you are presupposing that there will be a decision thereafter before Congress begins the 20th Congress.
Yes. I think the court or whoever is the ponente might be ready with a decision, but then this came out that the 10 session day period was not breached per the House, per the reply of the House. So they want to get confirmation. What exactly happened?
Yeah.
Was it breached or not?
Yeah. Was it violated?
Yes.
Or was it not violated? All right. It's okay. Let's do this. The second part that I wanted to ask is that some were saying that there were too many details that the Supreme Court had asked the House to actually respond to the point that I think it was an interview on radio by Congresswoman Laila De Lima, where she actually said that there could have been a judicial overreach. That's what I want to understand. Justice, were there too many questions that were asked by the Supreme Court to the House? Or is the Supreme Court well within its right, its responsibility to ask these questions?
Well, let's focus on one particular question where the Supreme Court said or asked that did those who signed the resolution, did they peruse the resolution? Did they peruse the charges? Did they peruse the charges and the evidence before signing? Well, we never ask the Supreme Court, whenever they come out with a decision resolution, whether those who signed the decision resolution perused the charges and went over the evidence. I mean, that's conceded. If you sign it, that means you have studied it.
So you don't agree that they asked that?
Yes, I think I would agree it's an overreach.
So, yun po, no, tinig di retired Associate Justice Antonio Carpio, at ang sabi niya, what's the point of asking too many questions to the House?
Itong si retarded Justice Carpio. Retarded ba?
Retarded.
Magandang araw sa'yo, Kado.
Magandang araw, Kado. I call him retarded dahil alam mo, unang-una, hindi ka dapat magko-comment sa mga Associate Justice out of courtesy, out of respect, out of delicadeza.
Walang yan.
Napaka-engot talaga nitong Justice Carpio nito. I mean, with due respect, naging professor ko ito, pero paano naman naging overreach? Alam mo, the Supreme Court, alam mo yan na Mr. Carpio, na anti-Duterte ka. Ang Supreme Court is a trier, is not a trier of facts. It only dwells normally on the issue of legality, or they dwell on the question of legality for every. Pero alam mo, mayroon tayo kasing 1987 Constitution, which the Constitution has granted the Supreme Court the power of judicial review, which does not limit the Supreme Court, even if the issue is one that dwells on the legality of a certain action, and upon the filing of a question of grave abuse of discretion, that does not preclude the Supreme Court from clarificatory questions, which may be factual. They may need to assist them, lalo na this is not an ordinary issue. It connotes the impeachment of the highest, second highest office of the land, the second highest officer of the land, who attained 32 million votes. Tapos sabihin mo, overreach. Nakakahiya ka naman, Carpio. Wala kang delikadesa. Unang-una, mali din yung sinasabi mo na nung sagot ng Congress doon sa summons ni Sara, yung reply sa summons, na hindi daw na-breach yung 10
days session.
10 days
10 session days ba?
10 session days. December 2 pa pinail yung You mean to say from December 2 hanggang pinail nila in February, kailan ba? February 8?
February 5 ata.
February 5 na yung minadali.
Yung fourth impeachment.
Hindi magtatanong ang Korte Suprema. Hindi, kasi hindi na breach. At pangalawa, bakit gustong makita ng Korte Suprema ang detalya? Because there is an allegation na binili ang mga congressmen. Sasabihin mo, it's not normal that sa Supreme Court daw, it's not normal daw na explainin mo pa yung mga member. Supreme Court yan eh. Ito, mga congressman ito eh. Na, sinabi ni Tiangco na nagkabayaran. So, sabi ng Supreme Court, baka, porque nagkabayaran na, hindi na binasa. So, yun ang duda ng Korte Suprema. Hindi mo minimension yan, Carpio. Tapos ito namang Pinky Web, question daw ng timing. With your respect, sana kayong mga hindi naman abogado na nag-abogado diyan as media announcer, dapat isipin nyo.
Magtanong lang kayo.
Timing. Opinion na yan as to the timing. Ang Supreme Court, maraming mga kaso yan. Sometimes it takes them to act on certain questions. Kung February yun, ngayon na lang July, may mga iba silang siniterto, like for instance, yung issue ng PhilHealth, yung issue ng
By scam. Budget.
scam, yung mga blanco. Oh. So, nilalagay nila sa tama na scheduling. So, ilalagyan mo ng
Kayo mag-adjust.
timing na parang it leaves a bad taste in the mouth, na parang inaakusa mo pa yung Supreme Court na manipulate ng Senado or napupolitika. Ikaw, Pinky Web, crush pa naman kita dati.
Okay. Ito,
Dapat maging matino ka sa mga tanong mo, ma'am.
ito, yung binamagit ni retired justice,
Oh.
sabi niya, you have to take it for what it says there. Yeah, you take it at face value, but you cannot question those who signed. Did you read it? Did you understand what you were signing?
What?
So that is supposed to be conclusively understood already.
I don't think that's plain stupid statement. Hindi ito naging Chief Justice dahil bobo eh. Hindi, associate na lang. He had so much ambition to become Chief Justice. But he was never appointed because he's medyo mababaw eh. Ang pagkatao nito. Tapos ngayon, sabihin niya ng ganyan, sinabi nagkabayaran eh. So, the Supreme Court is kind of conscious, para kang hindi naging Supreme Court Associate Justice eh. Pagka nagkaroon ng allegation na kaya ka pumirma blindly dahil mayroong 150 million or mayroong sabi ng Supreme Court, kailangan mag-explain kayo. Ikaw, Carpio, kung ano-anong pinagdadaldal mo eh.
The Supreme Court must make an educated decision. Hindi yung negotiated decision mo, Carpio.
Ito, walang niya ito eh. Kukwestiyonin mo pa yung mga kasama mong mga new members of the Supreme Court.
Di ba, at saka yan ganyan, di ba sub judice yan? Pending na eh. Nasa kamay na ng Supreme Court.
Oo nga eh. Dapat nga, hindi na siya magko-comment eh. Hindi pa naman siya renowned na Associate Justice eh. He's just a mediocre Justice of the Supreme Court. He is also a mediocre professor of negotiable instrument and corporation law sa UP. So, what makes him an authority? At parating tinatanong. Ikaw pare, doon sa nakikisaw-saw din yan sa arbitral ruling. Ano ba masasabi mo tungkol dito sa Carpio na ito? Alam mo,
nakatali ang kamay niya.
Very partisan kasi ito. Pagka Duterte, ewan ko kung galit ito kay Duterte dahil hindi ginawang Chief Justice eh.
Tsaka pag may nag-disagree sa kanila diyan sa debate sa West Philippine Sea, right away, sinasabi nila pro-China. Samantalang kayo, hindi nyo alam. Senior Associate Justice ka, you don't even make a distinction and declare an asymmetry between sovereignty and sovereignty rights. Sinasabi nyo, may sovereignty tayo sa exclusive economic zone. Hindi nga exclusive yung economic zone natin dahil ang daming nagdi-dispute. 5 countries ang nagdi-dispute. Pero kung kumilos kayo dyan, akala nyo, tayo lang ang may karapatan dyan. Respeto naman natin yung karapatan ng ibang bansa. May rason tayo.
Pero, Sir G, kasi ang question dito, masyado raw maraming tanong. May limit ba ang tanong ng Supreme Court? O ilang ba dapat na itanong?
Sinasabi ko nga,
baka 10 lang.
Ang Supreme Court,
kaya nga Supreme,
in order to be thorough, they are not limited to 1 or 20 or even 50 questions. if it's only to come out with a decision that will never be questioned by anyone na toro.
Pag sinagot nila yan, pagharap nila Supreme Court, tatanungin pa rin sila.
At saka yung sinasabi nitong kumag na ito, so that they can come up with a decision prior to the convening of the impeachment court. How can you presume that the impeachment court will be convened? That's so presumptuous of you, Mr. Carpio. Pangalawa, alam mo, it's plain stupidity na inuunahan mo ang Korte Suprema. This is a question of with transcending issues. Ang issue nito is to fire out or to remove the second highest official of the land who got the highest number of votes in the history of the country, 32 million. Tapos sasabihin mo, magmamadali ang Supreme Court, they might hurry up at uunahan nila yung convening ng Senate at House on the 29th. Paano magdidesisyon? Para ka namang bobo na hindi ka naging Associate Justice, Mr. Carpio. May oral argument yan. Matatapos ba yung oral argument? Tingnan mo yung PhilHealth. Tingnan mo yung iba. Yung magaling dyan na justice na twice or even thrice as bright as you are, Carpio. How long did it take them to have an oral argument, paring Eli? Tapos sasabihin mo, sa July 29, magdidesisyon ang Korte Suprema.
Ito yung sa GAA, di ba? Meron din oral argument. Meron dito, Sec. Jigs.
Stupid talaga nitong tao na to.
Meron tayong video kung saan si Congressman Toby Chanco, meron siyang binabanggit bakit hindi siya pumirma.
Ito.
Mukhang parang madali nangyari. Ito, patuloy po ninyo.
So, this is where the Supreme Court is coming from, Mr. Carpio. There are allegations of bribery. So, siyempre, they want to be certain na yung pumirma ay talagang binasa at thoroughly, kasi there is an allegation of bribery. Ito, pakinggan natin si Chanco.
So, yung bagay na yun, hindi ko naman kayang pagdesisyonan. I mean, yun yung problema on my part. Hindi ko siya mapagdesisyonan ng ganun ng isang araw. Hindi ko naman inakala na kailangan ko magdesisyon ng ganun kabilis. Kasi sabi ko, kung June 2 rin naman mapag-uusapan yan sa Senado, baka nga kaya ngayon pinag-uusapan para pag-isipan mo over the break. Yun ang iniisip ko. So hindi ako
So nagulat ka rin na parang it was all done and dusted in one day?
Hindi, yun. Sinabi sa akin na itra-transmit na nila. So, okay. Tsaka syempre, kailangan pa-check sa abogado ko, bigyan ako ng briefer. Talagang dapat pag-isipan na mabuti because it's not only the legal issue, it's not only the issue of the impeachment, it is the issue na kung ano ang mangyayari sa ating bansa dahil sa issue na to. So yun ang mas malaking picture sa akin. Hindi ko tinitignan lang kung ano yung complaint. Tinitignan ko kung ano yung epekto nito doon sa ating bansa.
So basically yun yung parang yung initial words ni President Bongbong Marcos na ayaw kasi magkakagulo lang yung bansa.
Hindi ba tayo nagkakagulo ngayon? Di ba? Nagkakagulo na nga, di ba? So yun yung reason.
Nobody pressured you to sign?
Okay, for the record, no one called me to sign.
Okay.
No one.
But did you attend the caucus?
No.
So
Hindi ka rin na-invite sa caucus?
Hindi.
Hindi ka pumunta.
Wala ka na talaga.
Hindi yung caucus naman. Kasi
It's a political party caucus.
biglaan yung caucus eh. Biglaan yung caucus. So, nagulat ako, biglang may caucus na lang. Nung nagbibihis na ako, I got the wrong information. Kala ko, lakas caucus lang. So, hindi ako tumuloy. Pero nung walang kumausap sa akin.
Okay.
Hindi ko alam bakit.
And there were no issues afterwards that hindi ka nag-sign? Hindi naman naging issue?
Wala rin nagtatanong sa akin ba?
Kami pala.
Media lang.
Media lang ang nagtatanong sa akin bakit hindi ako nag-sign.
Pero dito ang binabanggit ni Congressman Toby Chanco, nung pirmahan, hindi siya pumirma kasi kinakailangan niyang basahin muna.
Yes.
At ikonsulta rin sa abogado yung nilalaman.
Oo.
So dito, pinapatunayan, gusto kasi sabihin ng Supreme Court dito, kung lahat ba ng mga congressman, katulad ni Toby Chanco,
Na conscious.
pumirma, pero naintindihan ba? Parang gano'n.
Conscious sila kung anong laman.
Yes.
Na hindi basta-basta pipirma ka lang, kundi mo ang sinasabi ni Toby, hindi lang yung impeachment. Yung anong implication
Yes.
of the impeachment and how it will affect our country and the unity of the people.
Yeah.
Yun Carpio na sinasabi na ng Korte Suprema na they have to give us a statement to the effect whether or not they signed it reading the complaint, which is 32 pages and including the evidence that are attached to it. Ano bang mga ebidensya?
Pero,
Yes.
Segjig, bakit ang order ng Supreme Court under oath? Na sabihin mo napatunay. Parang ginanon yung
Kasi madali
mga
naman.
congressman.
Alam mo naman, mga congressman yan eh. I mean, iba na yung panahon namin kaysa ngayon eh. Kung ang sasabihin mo, kung biglang sabihin mo lang, pumirma kami. Pero kung under oath, mayroon kang pananagutan.
Oo.
Na kung ipatawag ka sa Korte Suprema or mayroon kang isasagot. Hindi yung all of them can just say na, pinirma namin yan eh. Nabasa namin yan eh. Who will not believe you or who
Pero
will
sabi
believe
kasi
you?
ni Congressman Toby Chanco, pinapirmahan yung araw na yun mismo bago i-transmit.
Yes.
So, paano mo pa mababasa? 215.
Oo.
Yun ang point doon.
Yes.
Sabi doon.
Baka may madulas dyan, pinirmahan niya, voucher.
Pero may mga aligasyon na di umano,
May aligasyon.
may kapalit. Kasi di ba may mga
Si Prasco mismo.
nag-speech siya, di ba? Kung hindi raw siya pipirma, baka ipitin ng budget.
Walang makarating sa kanyang pamigay sa mga constituents niya.
So, yun.
So, is it that you are being bribed of something? So, yun po.
So, tama yung pagtatanong.
Ang issue lang naman kasi nito, ano bang kinukomentahan natin? Somebody who was, upon a time, became a senior associate justice who have ambition to become Chief Justice. Pero he never had a chance. Kay Gloria Macapagal, si Corona ang nilagay. Kay si Quismondo ang nilagay. Or even si Bersamin, then si Peralta. He was never considered. Why? Because alam nila na kulang-kulang itong Carpio na ito.
Negotiable.
Oo. Alam mo ba, itong Carpio na ito, with due respect, doon sa kaso ng wife ko, against her opponent, it's an issue of citizenship. It was alleged na yung kalaban niya should not have been considered as a candidate because she was not natural-born citizen. The COMELEC declared her not a natural-born Filipino, so disqualified. Pagdating sa Supreme Court, they also uphold the decision of the COMELEC. 14 justices signed, including this Carpio. Pumirma siya noong desisyon upholding the COMELEC. Tapos mayroong haka-haka na bigla siyang bumaliktad. Ano kaya ang rason? Tapos sumulat siya ng Carpio, tandaan mo itong ginawa mo. Sumulat siya ng after he has signed and approved the decision, bigla siyang sumulat ng justification bakit siya umatras. Gumawa siya ng parang memorandum or reflection nag-reflect daw siya kung bakit umatras siya. Pwede
So,
ba yan?
binago niya yung kanyang desisyon.
Ha? Binago niya kasi may mga haka-haka na nagkaayusan daw. Oh.
Baka naka-reflection.
Naka-reflection.
Refraction.
Kaya nawalan ako ng talagang dito. Tapos ngayon, daldal ng daldal, tala mo kung sinong magaling.
Nagre-reflect na naman siya.
Nagre-reflect na naman uli. So, ganyan katindi itong tao na to.
Professor mo sa negotiated instruments
Negotiated.
and contracts.
And corporation law.
Okay, so yung issue na yan, no? Di ba sa impeachment, kinakailangang resolbahin yung issue ng jurisdiction. So, abangan natin yan sa July 29.
Yes. Tapos, talking again of judiciary.
Jurisdiction, yan naman.
Ito naman ang, ito, yung babae.
Ito, yung merong di ba merong desisyon ng Muntinlupa?
Yes.
Trial court, tapos
korte din yan, ha?
niriman dyan ng
Hindi.
ano ba yan?
Nagdesisyon ang Muntinlupa Court acquitting her. Okay. Ngayon, hindi naniwala na walang wishy-washy na nangyari doon. So the Office of the Solicitor General filed petition for certiorari for grave abuse of discretion on the part of judge for acquitting her on the sole basis that nag-recant yung testigo. Itong testigo, ang pangalan ay Ragos. Ito yung Ragos na nagsabi na nagdala siya ng 5 milyon galing sa drug lord, binigay kay Laila de Lima sa bahay niya. Tapos, nag-recant itong Ragos. Pero marami nang nagsasabi na, bakit ka mag-recant? Even Secretary Vit Aguirre says na, imposible pwede mag-recant. Dahil I was there. There were videos that we presented that he signed and he made a statement.
Without duress.
Without duress, he readily answered those questions. Tapos bakit mag-recant? So sabi ng OSG, kailangan natin questionin ito sa CA. CA came up with a order to remand it to the court. Napakadali lang na wishy-washy. Mukhang ayos na siguro yung I don't know, I mean allegedly. Bigla kagad na dinesisyonan ng court at talagang acquitted daw siya. Hindi pumayag ang DOJ. Sabi ng DOJ, mukhang hausyaw yung judge na yan. We don't believe na the recantation of Ragos with nag-file ng motion for reconsideration ang department.
DOJ na ngayon.
DOJ na.
Yung mga prosecutor.
Yung mga prosecutor. So, ibig sabihin,
nawala yung
ayaw nila talagang maniwala na itong De Lima walang kasalanan, walang criminal liability. That's why even the OSG, napakatino noon si Guevara, at ngayon, mayroong allegation na kakampinan niya yung Marcos administration, pero itong si Padulyon, hindi papayag yan . Yung si Undersecretary Jesse Andres na mga matino na mga, they will not allow this De Lima to just get scot-free. So, nag-motion sila for reconsideration against the decision of the judge. So, mangyari dyan, pagka tinuloy pa rin ng judge, pupunta na naman yung DOJ sa Court of Appeals. At aabot ng Korte Suprema yan. Miss De Lima, daldal ka kasi ng daldal. Akala mo, ligtas ka na sa criminality. Hindi naman, ma'am.
Hindi ba congressman ngayon yan?
Party list.
Congressman.
Liberal
Party.
ML. Mamayang liberal.
Mamayang liberal.
Pero meron dito kasi interview yung abogado ni
De Lima.
Congressman De Lima.
Oo.
At ang pinagbibintangan na naman dito, mga Duterte.
Sige. Okay.
Hindi, meron ako
Bakit?
video dyan.
Sige.
May video ako dyan.
Paano natin?
May video ako dyan.
Ipa-interview mo.
Na-interview yung attorney Dino.
Yung
Leon,
Dino. Oh.
Na ang sinasabi, may kamay pa rin daw itong mga Duterte dito sa kasong ito. Ito, panoorin natin yung video. Ito
ito sobra-sobra na sila at napipilitan na kaming pag-aralan ang pwedeng i-file na kaso dito sa panel of prosecutors na ito. Nagkataon pa na si Congressman-elect Laila De Lima, isang prosecutor doon sa impeachment trial at siguradong at Congressman-elect na siya ngayon. No? So hanggang ngayon, sinusubukan pa rin patahimikin ng Davao Mafia, ng Davao Group at ng mga Duterte, si Laila De Lima. Ano ba talagang kinakatakot nila kay Laila De Lima? Alam ba nila na hindi titigil si Laila De Lima sa pag-pursue ng justice at making sure that they will be held accountable for all their misgivings to the Filipino people?
Did I hear it right, attorney? Nabanggit nyo kasi, attorney, balak nyo sampahan ng kaso, itong mga prosecutor, tapos nabanggit nyo rin na may hand ang mga Duterte dito sa kasong ito. Ibig sabihin, ina-assume nyo na itong mga prosecutor ay impluensyado ng mga Duterte?
Well, matagal na yan ang theory, no? Alam niyo po, matagal na naman ang mga in-appoint dito na mga panel of prosecutors, yung talaga ba namang publicly or yan sila, di ba, sila prosecutor, let's say for example, Darwin Cañete. Ito yung mga publicly vloggers pa nga ito na nagsusupport kay Rodrigo Duterte, no? So malinaw sa amin na ito ay continuously persecution ni Laila De Lima ng Duterte group, no? Sila pa rin naman yung panel of prosecutors na na-appoint nung panahon pa ni Rodrigo Duterte, no? So kami naniniwala na ito ay continuation lamang ng game plan ng Davao Group at ni Rodrigo Duterte at ng pamilya Duterte.
Talagang wala nang ano bang tawag nito? Desperado na talaga. Ito pati itong abogado na ito, napaka bopols. Paano naman magkakaroon ng impluensya ang mga Duterte? Pinipersecute na nga ang head ng DOJ, si Boying Rimulya.
Si Boying Duterte.
Papayagan kaya ni Secretary Rimulya yung kanyang mga tao kung gagawa-gawa lang ng at inutusan kamo ni Duterte, may impluensya si Duterte para mag-file ng motion for reconsideration? Papayag kaya si Padulyon? At saka yung mga ibang prosecutor dyan. At dahil si Duterte na naman, alam mo itong si De Lima, pakita mo ngayon, napakaganda kanina Kaya naaakit talaga si Dayan at saka si Junel dyan Kasi napaka-beautiful Tingnan mo, napakaganda. Kala ko kung sinong lola. Lola na ba yan? Lola? So, yan mga kababayan, itong Dino De Leon, attorney, with your respect, mag-isip-isip ka naman. Pagbutihan mo na lang yung pagdepensa kay De Lima, huwag ka lang mangdadawit ka ng mga Duterte. Namumulitika ka pa para ma-justify yung, halimbawa, matalo ka dyan, sabihin mo ay, kaya ako natalo nabalik yung na reverse yung acquittal kasi Duterte ang nag-utos. Baka hindi mo naman papairal yung kagalingan mo.
Tsaka 3 taon nang wala sa pwesto si dati Pangulo Duterte at higit sa lahat, hindi na siya kaalyado ng administrasyon. So, paano magkakaroon ng kamay?
Wala pa siya sa bansa. Naka-detain.
So, pero parang lahat ng nangyayari ngayon,
dinidikit sa mga Duterte.
Di ba, yung missing sabongero?
Sabi may convergence ito sa pagpapatay ng mga drug suspects. Ano na ba ang nangyari dito?
Lahat na.
Ito lahat na lang. Ha?
So, yun po mga kababayan, ay yun ang nangyayari ngayon sa ating bansa. Pati yung mga walang silbi na naging associate justice, gusto pa rin pumapel, hindi na lang mag-retire, retired ka na nga, kumubra ka na nga kalaki-laki ng retirement pay mo sa pagka-associate justice, daldal ka pa rin ng daldal, tapos ang mga dinadaldal mo, walang saysay, siyempre, magagalit ang mga tao tulad namin, na who are in touch with the reality, with the people. Oo. Parang, anong last parting words mo?
Well, nagpalit na pala ng apelyido si Boying.
Ano na?
Duterte na. Boying Duterte.
Dahil in-influensyahan niya yung... So, Boying Duterte ang sinasabi mo. Kasi sinabi nung Attorney Dino, ay may influence ang mga Duterte sa pag-file ng motion for recon.
If I remember right, si Boying ang nagpa-extrajudicial rendition kay Duterte. Tapos, ano ba? Tapos sila pa kayo ng... May convergence din dito.
Parang ano masasabi mo?
Well, dito naman kay retired Justice Carpio, delikadesa, huwag mo sunugin yung dati mong mga kasamahan. At ang pinakamatindi dito, alam niyo, napakataas po ng respeto ng taong bayan at yung kredibilidad po ng Supreme Court dahil sa kataas-taasan dapat makakasira ho yan sa ating judicial system. Kung magkakaroon po ng pagdududa.
Insider siya
pagdududa sa Supreme Court, dapat po sirain.
Sasabihin mo, overreach.
Pero last year, itong si Carpio ang nagsasabi na yung impeachment na yan, walang pupuntahan. Diba? Siya ba nagsasabi? Dahil daw, merong 1-year ban, yung mga ganun-ganun. Tapos ngayon siya nagtutulak.
Pero siguro pinakamaganda gawin niya, antayin niya yung sagot ng Congress.
Yun.
Ano ba laman? Ano ba talaga nangyari doon? Kasi ang Supreme Court, gusto lang naman mangyari. Ano bang ginawa niyo dito yung first, second, third impeachment complaint?
Ang masama nito kasi, ina-emphasize niya yung sagot ng House na wala daw, hindi daw na-breach yung 10 days. December 2, pinahil yung first impeachment. July na. More than 1 month. Can you not have 10 days? From December to January, end of January. Doon pa lang yung 10 session days has already been lapsed. Tapos sasabihin mo,
iba talaga agenda.
Dishonest opinion. Kaling pa naman sa isang retired na at kumubra na ng pera sa gobyerno. Yun ang masama. So, Paringado?
Huwag kalimutang mag-subscribe dito sa Iparas kay Paras at i-click ang notification bell. Maraming salamat po.